के बाव में, avakst, imvuste. So those trees grow in desert. You can't expect really very juicy fruit from them. So mostly trees which grows in desert, they have thorns, very small leaves. Same thing, those trees grows in stones. They also have very small leaves because their lives in struggle. In botany we have learned that because just to save that water, so their leaves become thorns. Same thing, because those trees are really very in high mountains and in very cold region, just to save themselves, they become so hard. So it's what we receive, what we save, or what we can give. It's like a economy, demand and supply. So if they don't have enough supply, these trees, so they have to control themselves, they have to convert themselves so they can survive. Same thing in our body. Our body made of these 5 elements: Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So because our body made of these 5 elements, so if in our body is shortage of earth, then body tries to get that, because that is prana, that is energy. If we don't have enough water in our body, then we have different problems and we feel thirsty, then we want to drink water. Same thing, if we don't have enough fire, if we don't have enough sun in our body, then we are trying to get it. Because if we won't have this, if there is a shortage of these elements, then our consciousness won't work perfectly. So today we discuss how we receive, how we save, and how we distribute, how we give to others these energy, these prana. We learn there is a very close relation between our consciousness, between our mind and our body. So if our physical body is not healthy, then our consciousness or our mind have effect. The same thing, if mentally we are not healthy, then this affect our physical body, because both should be healthy, then it's a complete health. So we have these 5 elements, and these 5 elements have relations with our another senses. Like in a tree, we have roots where they receive water, and they have leaves. From there they can distribute that water, then water can vaporize. It's like a complete circle that is in our nature going on. So if we talk about these 5 elements, so first element is ether, space, because if you want to build a universe, we need first space. Then from space, then comes the air. That is the second element. So the first element have only one character, this ether, but the air comes from the ether. Then in ether we have swai character. Then all this, there are 3. First sky, ether, and then air. In air we have sky and air, 2 elements. Then from air comes the fire. In fire we have air and we have space. So it means there are 3 elements inside, 3 characters inside. If we go further, then water. Water comes from fire. And if water coming from fire, it means we have this character, fire character also inside that. And then from fire we have the earth, air there. So in air there we have this 5 character. 5 character means air there, water, then we have fire, and then air and ether. Then air they have 5 character, then water have 4, then fire have 3, and air have 2, and last one ether have 1. So all these are 15. So those who knows the secret of these 15s, they can be salvation. They can have salvation. In our physical body we have these 5 elements. Also the same thing. Just to understand this, it's an explanation. Like we think something with our mind, that is space, we create something. Then it's a wind, it's air. It means our prana, our energy start to move. In our body we have this air. Because of our thoughts, it start to move. When our air moves little bit faster, then our fire will goes high. Too much fire in our body. Then from this fire, then we sweat. Then water comes. And when water becomes dry, then it becomes earth. So we have these 5 elements. Just to understand this, just to make it easy. All these 5 elements, it's in our physical body, as I said. So our complete physical body made of these 5 elements. So every part have these 5 elements. But still there are some parts where we have little bit more these elements. So one part or one area in our physical body we have more water. In one part we have more fire. So even in our fingers we have these 5 fingers. So our ring finger, earth, little finger, water, thumb, fire, then Luft, then sky. So we have these 5 fingers. Also they are like symbol for these 5 elements. In our physical body we have these 5 senses. 5 senses, roots, where we receive our energy. So we have our eyes, we have our ears, we have our nose, okay, we have our tongue, and we have our skin. So from these 5 senses we receive, and in our consciousness, in our mind, we save that, we calculate that, and then whatever we have decided, then we start to work with these our 5 working senses. We called it karmendriya. Our anus, our genitals, our legs, our hands, and our mouth. So we receive energy from our Gyanendriya, our senses, when we receive this energy, because whatever we see, that's not just the light, that's not just a picture, that is prana, that is energy. Same thing, what we eat, that is not just a simple food, that is energy. We are receiving energy in the form of food, we are receiving energy in the form of air, we are receiving energy in the form of light, we are receiving energy in the form of touch. When we touch something, then we feel, then we are getting this prana. So which type of energy you are receiving, or which type of calculation you are doing. Because if you are always in desert and you know that you need to save the water, but when you are young, after 20-40 days, or after 20 years, after 40 years, when you are near water, near a river, but still you have this feeling to save water, you won't spend water, you won't destroy water, because you have learned to save that. Same thing with our energy. When we receive our energy, so whatever it's in our mind, whatever is in our consciousness, we calculate according to that. If you have so much money, whole world knows that you have so much money, but your consciousness calculating, no, I should not spend that money, I don't have enough money. Then you will be a miser. Same thing if you have so much water to drink, but your mind is already learned, no, there is a shortage of water. Then you won't feel thirsty, because your consciousness, your mind won't allow you to be thirsty. So it's like demand and supply. So if we know these, we have these 5 elements, then we have these 5 senses, and then 5 working senses. And in between these working senses and these senses, it's our mind, it's our consciousness, which is calculating everything, which is spending the prana, or which wants to have prana. It's like tree, okay, want to have water, want to have minerals. So according to that, our mind also work, our physical body work according to that. Yat pinde tat brahmande. Whatever in this universe, same thing, everything we have in this physical body. It's like a simple anatomy, simple knowledge about our physical body. When we know this, then we can discuss further with our all senses, with our all prana, with our all working senses.